Like this.
Yeah. So when you sent me this text message earlier this last
Well, I
week,
don't remember. What the heck was it?
you said the question that you said was listen to hear and not to respond. The art of learning how and when to listen to women.
Heck, I forgot about that question. Oh my goodness. We didn't talk about that yet? Oh man, where was I at with that?
Hmm. Listen to hear and not to respond. That's my favorite shit right there.
Yeah,
I
give
say
it to
that
me.
all the time. Listen to I think I wrote that down.
Yeah,
Listen
I
to
think
hear and
you
not
put to listen
respond.
to hear, not to
Yeah,
respond. That's
and I
your
think
thing.
yours was the art of learning because that's the way people. This is some P shit. Y'all can hear it in the word dialect. Listen to the word, the very first two words. The art of learning how and when to listen to women.
Mm.
The art of learning how to listen and when to listen to women.
Yeah, I know where I was at with it. That sounds very great, and it makes a lot of sense. So I'm to the best of my ability, try to go back to where I was at during that time when I posed that question, and it'll probably click in at some point. But I'll say this: that a lot of men I feel like have trouble with this. I feel like a lot of men, whether they know it or they know it for sure, have trouble with listening to women. And it's kind of coming back now. So I feel like there's an art of knowing how and when to listen to women. Dudes get so used to tuning women out or just being like, man, they I don't want to hear that, or I'm not gonna do something because a woman told them to do it, or that sometimes they may be missing some things that if they just listen to the woman, it would be something that they'll later on be like, oh, that it would really work in their favor, right? However, there are times when you can't listen to women because they might have you, they don't know what the hell they talking. I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. They don't know what they talking about. So, for instance, women will say something like this. Like, I think that pink looks good on you, right? And a dude will say, I ain't wearing no damn pink. And then they
How you gonna
probably,
pick pink though, P?
because you
Just
got
because
on a
my
pink
shirt?
shirt.
I
Yeah,
knew this, but the fuck.
yeah, because you got on a pink shirt. That's why. And obviously, some woman told you that pink, you should wear pink. That's what the fuck you got to know. You didn't jump out the
Colors.
goddamn. You didn't jump out the goddamn thing throwing on pink. Some woman told you one day you should wear pink, and that's why the hell you got it
Hey,
on today.
hey, hey, man, I like different colors, man. I like to be different, man.
So then,
I,
so,
I,
so
I,
that's cool. That's cool, and I believe you. No woman didn't tell you to wear pink.
I mean, I wear any color I like. I look good in all shit, P. Nobody got to tell me what I look good in. I'm conceited.
That's cool. You gonna answer the question though?
I ain't gonna answer nothing, P. I don't remember his fucking shirt. Shit. Shit.
I hear what you're saying. That's all gravy. You gonna answer the question though? Yeah, exactly. So that's my point. As I was saying, as I was saying, a woman will say, "Hey, this looks good on you. Or I think that looks good on you. Or this hairstyle, something that could be not super dramatic, but it could be a change for a dude." And they'll rather listen to their partners than the female, or than the woman when who you're doing this for yourself. But if you was doing it for another person, who you doing it for? The women or these dudes? You know what I mean? So a lot of times dudes will be like, "Oh, you a sucker. You let her tell you you should wear your dreads twisted up, or you let her tell you should cut your whoopty whoop a certain way, and you did it because a woman told you that. Well, fool, I ain't gonna do it for you." You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
cause when you were saying, I'm over here thinking like, shit. If a female tell me it look cool, that's what I'm
But
gonna
see,
do it for the
some dudes,
female.
this is what I'm saying. Some dudes would say, "Oh, nigga, you tripping. You supposed to do what you like and what you da 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 da." Who says I don't like it? And who says that I wouldn't like it? And who says that I shouldn't like it if this if the opposite sex is looking and saying, hey, if you had whoop de whoop, that would look good on you. But dudes say, oh, you's a sucker because you let a woman dress you. You's a sucker because you let a woman tell you what to nigga, I'm not doing it for you.
Right.
If I am gonna make a change or try something, this is an opportunity where you can actually try. You try a restaurant, you try a new look, you try on some different clothes. If you try something out, I would say that's one of the times that's a great time to listen to women. When a woman is giving you her valid opinion and it's not coming from somewhere like they're trying to control you, but they genuinely, and this is what I mean, the art of knowing the difference. They ain't trying to control you. They're not trying to make you do nothing. They're literally just impressed by what they see and they're complimenting that. And they're like, hey, you know, if you whoop de whoop, that's a great time to probably listen because if that woman is saying those gray sweats look good on you and you put them on, it's probably gonna be 100 more women that agree with her.
Somebody told me. Somebody told me. I was wearing lingerie. They
Huh?
said, "Case, why you walk out the house in lingerie?" I said, "What the fuck you mean walk out in lingerie?" They said you got on them gray sweatpants.
Oh,
Lingerie.
see what I'm saying? And so, oh shit, is that what it is? So now you got 8 pairs of gray sweatpants.
You
So when you
damn skippy.
that's my point, the art of knowing when. But so that's that. I just gave that example to make it make more sense. But there's
Right.
also other times where one might say, "I know you've been dealing with this at work or in the workspace." And this is a great woman, by the way, if they can give this, because all women don't have this ability to give, like for you to come to them or them to see you working through something and give you something that's actually a tool. You know what I mean?
Mm.
That's a really great attribute in a woman, by the way, to be able to give you something that's a tool and not something that, and not give you nothing, not give you a, I don't know, and not give you a headache. You feel me? But to bounce, you could bounce an idea off her. She'd be like, yeah, but you know, you can do it like this. You're like, oh no, wait, what? You mean to tell me I ain't got to do it the way I was doing it before? Like, no, silly. You could just do this. And you're like, for real? Oh, yeah, let me show you the art of learning, as opposed to being like, man, I'm not going to ask her nothing because I got to figure this out on my own. So those are just a couple of things, you know what I mean? That there's time, and then there's times where women just be talking, cuz, and don't know
Mm-hmm.
what they talking about, and they think they know something, and they don't know nothing, and they trying to make what's in their head that's not true be true. Like they'll draw something up in their head and want you to go there with them. And that's a time where you got to know the difference and not listen to that. You got to cut that off. Hey, I don't care about your coworker and all that. I don't know. So I just feel like sometimes dudes get so caught up in listening to their partners, listening to trying to figure everything out on their own, that even at the times where there's few far in between where the women are given solid information and or even compliments that a dude can take and add to their swag, that they go away from that because they too concerned about what other dudes go think.
Right.
See, that's stupid.
Right. So what when I look at the question, when I look at it, right, I look at the word, the first part of it to be, when it says learn how to
Mm.
listen to a woman. You gotta learn how to listen to a woman.
Mm.
Um, that's an important word right there, that how, because like you say, sometimes women they can be talking, right? You got to understand where a woman's coming from in the time of conversation. I was speaking with a woman one time, and we was having a conversation, and and she always liked to use things from a point of perspective. I'm going to use that word, right? The perspective that she was always coming from was coming from a place of uh, I want to say negativity, anger, or something like that. I can't remember.
Something from the past or something like that.
Right. And so when you come from when you do that, hold on, I don't know what happened to my thing back there, but she was coming from a place of hurt and negativity. So when they listening to somebody, right? Hey, you do this, you do that, you do X, Y, Z. Okay. Well, if I do X, Y, Z, right? Tell me what was going on
Mm-hmm.
in this time frame, right? For you to say that this is what's happening. Tell me what was going on in this time frame. So if that makes sense. So don't say, hey, I told you to put on this pink shirt
Yeah.
uh because you look nice pink shirt. Now you're always wearing it, or now, but now you always wearing a pink shirt or whatever. I don't know how to explain it right? But you got so what was happening and give me the context. Pretty that's the word I was looking for. Give me the context of what we're speaking on, right? For how I'm gonna listen to you, right? Hey, you know what? You have some red pants in there, and you know it's Valentine's Day, and a nice pink shirt go real good with that. And it brings out the complexion of your skin, blah, 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 blah. Ooh, that was a good idea. I think I'm gonna do that. Or a better way of listening to um a woman, right? Hey, you know you have this meeting with such and such tomorrow. Now, I know that you got a tendency to do this, that, or this when you speak or when you address people. Fall back a little bit on that because when you get direct and a little bit softer
Mm-hmm.
in your language and in your stance, you're more receptive, and more people become more receptive to you. So this is how you got to learn how to listen, learning how to listen, right? Because you got to understand the context in which a woman speaks. You got to
Mm-hmm.
understand the place that she's coming from when she's speaking to you and giving you this information. Is she coming from a place of hurt? Is she coming from a place of happy? Is she coming from a place of knowledge, of resource, or is she coming from a place of she thinks she knows better than the rest of the world, so she's giving you some bullshit? And so that's, I think, that learning how to listen to a woman and make sure that you can understand the context, place, and perspective that she's coming from would make for a better way. And a woman would say that you should listen to them always, right? If you ask a woman, when should I take your opinion? They're going to say all the time because we're always right. It's for us to discern
Mm-hmm.
what we're going to take from this conversation that they're giving, because a lot of times women are going to give you some real game. If you got a real woman on your side, she's going to give you some real game. She's going to put you, because think about it, most of us get our game from our mamas. We get our game from the women in our life. So if you got a sister, your sister gonna put you up on game. You got a cousin that you real close, she's gonna put you up on game. Your mama gonna put you up on game. So you got to know when to listen to them and know when to, and they're gonna say always, and it's always good. There's never nothing wrong with receiving too much information.
And
You
process
have to
that.
and process. You got it's up to you to take away from, just like you read the Bible. You can read the Bible. We can read the Bible all day. But if you don't get in there and discern and take, hey, this is what it meant right here,
Mm-hmm.
because it's gonna mean something different to everybody. So you got to know what you're gonna take from that, from the information, and still make your own decision. Yeah, they're going to give you some information. She may say, hey, be a little bit softer, but don't go in there so mean and gave you a whole spiel. But all you heard was be a little bit softer. That's what you took from that. But you still gonna go in there and use what you know for you, but you're going to take a little bit. So I think learning how,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying, listen to the context, the place they're coming from with it, learn that so you can better understand where they're coming from when you receive the information, and then when to apply it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going a woman to tell you how to get another woman. A woman to say, hey, you know, give her some flowers, give her some candy, do some shit like that. And we may say, that's a good idea. Now, don't go too rough, don't go too fast, but at the same time, you still got to use
You.
your, yeah, you still got to use your playerism and
You
say,
still the man who you are at the end of the day.
right, I'm gonna take what you said, but I still got to put my ism on it real quick too, because you know you ain't gonna be able to, you can only give me your perspective from a woman's point of view, but from my point of view, this is how I've been doing. Now you giving me you just upping my game a notch, but I'm still gonna finesse it the way I finesse it. And so that's where you know when and when not to. You know what I'm saying? So it's, just make sure you're learning the how. So when we listening to our women speak and listening to the women that we listen to speak, man, make sure we understand the places that they're coming from with it, and the perspective and the context that they're coming from with it, and make sure that we can take what we need and apply it when it's needed, because not everything given is meant to be applied right there. Sometimes you just got to take it, hold it for a minute, and then bring it out when it's necessary.
Yeah, you made a couple good points. Understanding the how and then the context. And that's I started to think back to like one of our early episodes that you was talking about, like I was talking about the art of active listening and actually
Mm-hmm.
the job of processing what the person is saying to see if it's some BS or if it's a jewel. Women
Mm-hmm.
can give you a jewel just like any other person can, but it's your job to actively listen, the art of actively listening and process. But like you said, put it into context. What is the
Mm-hmm.
context of what? And I think sometimes men can get stuck in one context, one subtext
Mm-hmm.
when a woman starts speaking, but not even really giving her a chance to deliver what the context may be, just automatically putting it at where they feel like she's at already. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So context and understanding is huge. And I think that's part I think that's part of where dudes struggle is thinking that a jewel advice or just like a a a change that a woman sees as an improvement in a man. Sometimes I think where men struggle, they see it as it weakens them if they take that because they didn't think of it on their own or they
Mm-hmm.
wasn't necessarily already doing it. They don't see it as okay, I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna put my thing on it and make it my thing. They see it as, hold on, man, I ain't finna let nobody tell me what to do, especially not no woman. So pride, foolish pride gets in the way, and or they can become defensive instead of seeing it as this is a this is an alley oop. A point guard throws alley oop, but you still got to go catch it and dunk it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you
Right.
still how you dunk it and all that is still you. You know what I mean? So I think that a message to the dudes is definitely take some time. What context is she coming in? Is she coming from? Have some understanding. And just because a woman offers an idea of change in your life, it doesn't make you less of a man. It doesn't make a person weak. It doesn't make them less than. It doesn't mean they don't have no game about themselves. It doesn't mean that they don't have any structure. It doesn't mean that they're not the leader. It's actually just someone who's close enough to you to say, hey, this is an area of improvement that you're capable of doing if you so choose to. And when it comes from that place, oftentimes, I'm going to keep it real with you, the woman is correct.
Mm.
And if a man learns to utilize those times where the the area of improvement that a woman sees and she offers up that advice of improvement and a man takes it, then like you said, is man enough to make it his own, put his own ism on it. The only thing that will happen from there usually is leveling up. It's an improvement. And
Mm-hmm.
and and everyone on the outside world, on the outside of that conversation, will then compliment the man on the level up or the change that they have made because it was true. It was something that was there that was an improvement that offered a chance to, uplift and upgrade. So the art of learning how and when to listen to
But
women.
that's why it's important that people learn to listen to hear
Yeah,
and not to respond. A lot
yeah,
of times people just hear people saying something that they want to hurry up and get their point. No, 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 no. Listen to hear. Listen for the message that's being said to you. That way you can respond correctly and receive it and then act accordingly to what's being said. Because A lot of times people just want to respond. They want to be argumentative or combative instead of taking in what's being said, processing that information, and then giving out a correct response or a correct action, and being able to make the proper decisions and be able to adjust to what's being,
I didn't have
told to them.
I didn't have dudes say, bro, you listen to that woman, blase, 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 right? You tripping listening. So when you did that shit, you sure is a sucker if you do something. Cause meanwhile, the same dudes just lost their girl.
Right.
So maybe they should get a little more listening.
Right.
So on the other side of that, if you be too pressed to be concerned about what another dude gonna say, you got to consider the source of that too, because a lot of them dudes be going through stuff because they don't know how to listen.
Yeah.